In this series of videos, we're going to take a look at one more method of factoring, and this method of factoring applies to factoring what are called quadratic trinomials. So what do we mean when we say quadratic trinomials? Well, trinomials, tri is the prefix that means three, basically means that an expression with three terms. Quadratic refers to the fact that the highest power of x is 2. So for example, 3x squared plus 8x plus 5 is an example of a quadratic trinomial. There are three terms, 1, 2, 3, and it's quadratic because the highest power of x is 2. Now, the standard way of writing these trinomials is from the highest to lowest power of x. So the first term should be the x squared term, the second term should be the x term, and then finally the number. And if we write our expression in standard term, you should know that the number multiplying x squared, that coefficient, usually we call that a, well, lowercase a. Maybe I'll write it up here to make it clearer. A, this number that's multiplying x we refer to as b, and the number on the end, we call that c. And this will be useful to you as we go through the video just to kind of understand the basic terminology. Now, the question may be, okay, well, how do we factor these things? And what's going to help us is to know that the answer to these factorings always looks the same. Something times something. And in each of those parentheses is a binomial. In this case, the answer, and don't worry about how we get there, I'll just say the answer is 3x plus 5 times x plus 1. We have an x term and a number, an x term and a number, right? Two binomials multiplying. And you can verify, by the way, that I'm not lying about this. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 1 is 3x, 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 1 is 5. And when I combine the two like terms, I'll get 3x squared plus 8x plus 5. So what I want you to get out of this video is to understand what quadratic trinomials are, and that we call these numbers a, b, and c. And the answer will be always in this form, a binomial times a binomial. In the next two videos, you will see exactly how we perform this factoring.